Hefty storms later this afternoon, and some are already starting to pop here on the map. You can see very isolated right now. A lot of folks just dealing with those really overcast skies, but back into parts of Frederick County over into northern Virginia, we do have some heftier storms right over Frederick. Heavy rain, thunder and lightning. You can see some spotty downpours off to the south and west over into far northern Virginia by Winchester. Romney also seeing some heavy rain, thunder and lightning, and this is just a precursor of what's to come here over the next several hours. Between about now and 8 o'clock tonight, we're going to continue to see this storm activity that's really bubbling up through the Ohio River Valley, work its way east and impact the Metro DC area. Now, our biggest concern for tonight is actually going to be flooding. Now, some storms could be hefty, producing that thunder and lightning that we're already seeing on the map, some gusty wind as well, but localized flooding is a real concern tonight, given how much moisture is in the atmosphere. If you have spent any time outside today, you know it is so humid, and as these storms and downpours develop, it's just going to wring out all of that moisture, and we could see some areas of localized flooding. But definitely a day to stay weather aware if thunder roars go indoors, because we will still have some of those heavier downpours with thunder and lightning as we head throughout the second half of the day. Great day to have the WUSA 9 app. You can track the storms and heavy downpours right in the palm of your hand. So coming up, I'll show you where we have a flood watch in effect and take you hour by hour through when the worst of the weather rolls in, and more importantly, when it rolls out.
All right, Kaitlyn, well,
afternoon and evening, I'm tracking heavy downpours that could lead to localized flooding and some damaging wind. I'll take you hour by hour through the impacts coming up in my forecast.
then 500,000 people use the red line each and every day. It is well used, so we knew that those disruptions were going to have a huge impact.
And that is a substantial addition to your morning commute time.
Absolutely, especially in this weather right now too. It's probably not ideal.
Oh, it is soupy weather outside. It is really humid. It feels like it's going to storm, and it is. And that one storm over Frederick producing some heavy rain, some thunder, some lightning off to the west from Keedysville down into Charlestown, Martinsburg. You just have a few widely isolated downpours. No thunder or lightning in those areas, but over toward Romney, Cross Junction, Strasburg, still again just a little bit of hit or miss. Heavy rain with one crack of lightning just to the south there of I-50 over into Romney. But most of the area is under a flood watch in effect. That'll go into effect at 2 o'clock this afternoon until 11 p.m. tonight. Now, the real risk for heavy rain and downpours does wane after, say, 8 p.m., but it goes until 11 in case there's any residual rivers and streams that continue to rise even after the rain has stopped. So we will be watching very carefully for those areas of isolated downpours that could lead to flooding, because where it rains, it truly could pour. We're talking about anywhere from 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches in a relatively short period of time, and that's where the flood risk really comes into play. So really important to keep in mind for your afternoon and evening commute. Not only can that heavy rain briefly reduce your visibility, could lead to some ponding, some hydroplaning, so make sure you give yourself some extra time for the evening commute tonight. But also you get the idea that not everyone will see this heavy rain, and where those heaviest downpours set up really is going to be hit or miss. Everyone at risk of seeing flooding, but not everyone will see flooding. Now, in addition to the flood threat, there's also a severe weather threat. We're at a level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather per the SPC, the Storm Prediction Center, and that's across most of our region. Everywhere you see highlighted there in yellow. And the main threat from a severe thunderstorm perspective would be for damaging wind. We could see some wet microbursts as we head throughout the afternoon hours. So this is right around 2 o'clock. We're still watching some of those scattered storms bubbling up in our westernmost counties. They're going to push east as we head throughout the evening. So say by 5, 6 o'clock, right in the heat of the evening commute, we'll be tracking that heavy rain, thunder, lightning, possibly some flooding as well up and down the 95 corridor around the Beltway. They do look to move out relatively quickly, which is good news. That always does help with the flood risk, as opposed to those downpours that just really slowly chug along. So say by 8 o'clock, most of the shower and storm activity is along and pushing east of 95. And by the time you check in with Topward 11 o'clock tonight, skies will be clear. Now tomorrow, not totally in the clear. Not a weather impact alert day. We're going to see a lot more scattered activity than what we'll see today, but you do get the idea that after about 2, 3 o'clock, a few showers, a few downpours could develop as we head throughout your Friday forecast. And otherwise, it is just going to be another hot and humid day. We really don't break this humidity until we get to Sunday. So throughout the day tomorrow, clouds increase, temperatures still make it back into the upper 80s and low 90s. Feeling more like the mid 90s, though, once you factor in those high dew points and that high humidity. Now, as we look ahead to the weekend, Saturday is going to be a day with another chance for some showers and storms. Sunday looking much drier and humidity will be dropping, so good news there. But then as we look ahead to next week, summer heat is back. We're talking temperatures in the mid to upper 90s. Right now, north and west of D.C., but between now and about 8 o'clock is our window for these areas of heavy rain, some thunder, lightning, possibly gusty wind as well. Heading back into Frederick, we've been keeping an eye on this storm that doesn't have any thunder and lightning in it now. That is good news. That's a sign that it is weakening, but still producing some really heavy rain. Just have one more crack of lightning there as well. This is right along I-70, stretching from Frederick back into parts of Brunswick. You've got some spotty showers, Keedysville, a little bit of light rain, and over into Martinsburg and Charlestown, right along I-81. You've got some heavy rain, thunder, and lightning. A little bit of those spotty downpours back toward I-50, just east of Romney, and back into Winchester as well. So we'll continue to see scattered activity here over the next couple of hours. And then I think as we get closer to 4 or 5 o'clock, more widespread rain will start to develop. You can see it starting to move in to parts of the Ohio River Valley. And as those showers and storms move in, they could kind of be twofold. One, producing a flooding threat, and two, an isolated damaging wind concern. Could see some wet microbursts this afternoon that could lead to some damaging winds. So our weather impact alert is now until 8 o'clock tonight for those storms with heavy downpours and localized flooding. If you have spent any time outside today, you know it is super really humid, and as those showers and downpours ring out all of that rain, could see a lot of rain in a short period of time. So as we gear up for the evening commute, make sure you give yourself extra time for your evening drive. Great night to have the WUSA 9 app as well. You can track those showers and downpours right on your phone and try and help dodge them, or at least plan your commute a little bit better. But coming up, I'll take you hour by hour through when the last of the rain clears out of here. Look ahead to a few more storm chances as we head into the weekend and talk about when this humidity finally clears out in my 7-day. Oh, so what's crazy to me is that the golf cart got in on the police chase.
Like it was going to do something.
Yeah, they weren't like, I'll let them handle it. Let's also go after it.
Kind of that group thing, right?
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that they can contribute in some way.
Right.
Even on the golf cart that could only go, 3 miles an hour? All right, friends, some laughs there. Forecast, kind of a bit like,
yeah.
It's one of those days you just want to stay inside, actually, if you can.
Yeah, it's just humid more than anything. I mean, as soon as you step outside, it feels like you opened up the oven. It just doesn't feel great outside. And we've got some showers and storms on the way, so all the more reason to maybe get some chores done inside the house today.
Amen to that.
You can see one crack of lightning there over Liberty Town, the other right along I-70 in Frederick. And these storms aren't moving super quickly. Now, I do think as the afternoon progresses, as we see a little bit better organization, we should see them push east a little bit quicker, but it's been pouring in Frederick now for about 45 minutes, and that's why we also have the flood threat as these showers and storms develop today. Also watching another cluster of storms right along the I-81 corridor, stretching from Martinsburg down into Winchester, some heavy rain from Charlestown over into Brunswick. Again, we are just kind of getting radar going here. We will see a lot more activity fill in here over the next several hours. That's why we have a weather impact alert in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. Now, starting at 2 o'clock this afternoon, a flood watch will go into effect and last until 11 p.m. So the flood watch does extend beyond when the storms will actually clear out, because sometimes those residual rivers and streams that take a little bit longer to rise can still pose a flooding threat even after the rain has stopped. So we will be watching for isolated downpours and some of that flooding as we head throughout the second half of the day today. Where the heaviest downpours develop, a quick inch of rain is possible. I think some of these numbers look a little overdone, and I wouldn't focus so much on the number you see in any particular town. The showers, the downpours could hit anywhere. Now, I do think at some point everyone will see some kind of rain today, but where we see that heaviest activity really could be anywhere across the entire area. That's why the flood watch is so expansive, and other areas could just walk away with maybe a quarter inch of rain. So really going to be hit or miss where we see some of the heaviest downpours today, but we'll also be watching for severe storms. The Storm Prediction Center has us under a level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather, with the biggest concern being damaging wind. We could see some wet microbursts, some really powerful winds extend from these thunderstorms as we head, especially throughout the evening hours. So we'll take you hour by hour through Futurecast. This is right around 2, 3 o'clock, starting to see a little bit more storm activity popping up on the map. But then right around evening commute time, up and down 95 around the Beltway, we'll be tracking some of these heftier storms that certainly could slow slow you down for your evening commute. Not only can that heavy rain briefly reduce visibility, can also create some ponding, some wet road conditions. So extra time for the evening commute. Know there may be some impacts as you're getting the kids maybe from camp this afternoon, but they do look to clear out relatively quickly. By 8 o'clock, the shower and storm activity is along and east of 95. And then by the time you check in with Topper at 11 o'clock tonight, the last of all of the rain is out of here. Now looking ahead to Friday, we will start things off with sunshine, still muggy and warm tomorrow. It's going to be another day where temperatures make it back into the upper 80s and low 90s, but feel about 5 degrees hotter given the humidity. And with that, we could see an isolated shower or storm in the afternoon. Really not super concerned with storm activity for Friday. Just know that if you've got Friday afternoon and evening plans, there's a low chance you could see a stray shower or storm. Otherwise, just going to be hot, humid, and a little bit cloudy by the afternoon. We'll start the day with more sunshine than we will end things with on Friday. Now, as we head into the weekend, we've got a few more shower and storm chances on Saturday, though similar to Friday, not looking exceptionally wet. And then as we head into Sunday, that's going to be my pick day of the weekend because not only is it rain-free, humidity is going to be dropping. We've got a nice break from the sticky dew points for Sunday into Monday, but then as we head into next week, a big warm-up is on the way. We are back in the upper 90s by the middle part of next week.
Before we say goodbye,
yeah,
I had gone outside just for a little bit and I felt lightheaded. I realized I need to drink a lot of water with this humidity.
Yeah, it is just so soupy. You gotta take care of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Kaitlyn.
The mall. We've got a line of storms that is moving in the general direction of D.C. just in time for the evening commute. No doubt going to slow things down.
Right. So we'll talk about the threat for storms, and of course, one threat is heavy rain. We'll show you who's under a flood watch. But first, you have radar, and it is active.
It is. We're trying how moist the atmosphere is. Chances are if you've spent any time outside today, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is humid, and as these showers and storms are moving through, they're wringing all of that moisture out of the atmosphere. Now, the only warning we have on the map right now is a flood warning for Frederick County until 5 o'clock. We saw repeated downpours throughout the morning and into the afternoon that did prompt a flood warning. I know it doesn't look like it's raining right now, but oftentimes those flood warnings will extend beyond when the rain actually stops because small rivers and streams can continue to rise even after the rain is out of here. We've been tracking some heavy downpours, some thunder, lightning through parts of Montgomery County, starting to work its way into Prince George's County right now. You can see stretching from Fairland back into Laurel. College Park getting soaked right now. We've got some cracks of thunder and lightning in the area. Still watching some of those showers right along the Montgomery County and Loudoun County line. Most of Loudoun County, in fact, right now. Seeing some light to moderate and occasionally heavy rain, but lots of thunder and lightning from Sterling back into Leesburg and Purcellville, Upperville. Also seeing some heavy downpours and a really heavy cluster of storms working their way along I-81 about to approach Winchester. But this could possibly be our next warned storm. You can see a really dense cluster of thunder and lightning stretching from Clear Spring down into Hedgesville and Martinsburg. So again, in addition to the flood threat, we're also watching the severe weather threat, though again, the risk for damaging wind is kind of diminishing as we head throughout the next several hours, but still a severe thunderstorm watch is in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. We've extended our weather impact alert until 10 o'clock as well. But I do want to send things back over to Chief Meteorologist Topper Shett. He's talking about the area. I'll show you where we're seeing the heaviest rain right now. Time out when it clears for your Thursday night, and look ahead to a few more storm chances as we head into the weekend. Come alert as showers and storms continue to roll through the region, only becoming more numerous here over the next several hours. And you can see on Doppler radar as we approach the 95 corridor, most of the area is getting soaked with that heavy rain, some thunder, lightning. The only warning we have on the map right now is that flood warning back into Frederick County. I know the rain has stopped, but that doesn't mean small rivers and streams won't continue to rise. That should expire here in the next 40 minutes. Now, around the Beltway, we've got heavy rain moving through parts of Montgomery County into Fairfax County, Prince George's County. As you're approaching Bowie, really heavy rain. No lightning being detected, so that is good news there. This is really more of a downpour and flood risk right now versus a severe thunderstorm risk, though we do still have the severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. You can see some widespread light to moderate rain through parts of Loudoun County, but off to the south, we do have some heftier storms stretching from Haymarket into Manassas. This is showing a little bit more energy here just to the south and east of Midland, so we'll be watching these storms carefully. to see if a warning is issued. The only other area that is showing some signs of some heavy lightning, some heavy thunder is from Hagerstown down toward Charlestown. Not looking as impressive along the I-81 corridor as it did just about 10 minutes ago, but continuing to monitor that area as well. And of course, if you hear thunder, if you see lightning, you need to make sure you are seeking shelter, even if there is not a severe thunderstorm warning. So as we head through the next several hours, flooding is the primary threat, but a few storms could produce some maybe gusty wind. The wind threat really is kind of diminishing, possibly some small hail, but I think more than anything, it's going to be all about heavy rain and thunder and lightning. All reason enough to make sure you are staying weather aware here over the next several hours. Great afternoon and evening to have our WUSC9 app. You'll get an alert sent straight to your phone if a warning is issued in your neighborhood. So here we are around 6 o'clock, still tracking a few heftier storms on the map, though it's really between about, say, now and 7 o'clock when most of these storms do roll through. By 8 p.m., a few leftover showers and downpours along and east of 95. And then as you check in with Topper at 11 o'clock tonight, skies will already be clearing. Rain will be out of here, and we'll head into your Friday forecast with sunshine to start, but then clouds thicken up kind of by midday. We will watch for an isolated shower or storm anytime generally after 2 o'clock, but I think it'll be much more isolated than what we're dealing with on the map right now. Otherwise, it is going to be another hot and humid day. We're talking about feels like temperatures that will approach the mid-90s by Friday afternoon. So if you do have outdoor plans tomorrow, keep the heat in mind. We'll see clouds increase a little bit. Maybe that will provide a little bit of relief from some of those really high temperatures and high humidity. But it's really not until Sunday that we see more significant improvement. Saturday is looking a little bit stormier, a few more showers and storms to get through in the second half of the day. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. And then by Sunday, that humidity starts to drop off temporarily. But as we head into next week, another really big warm up is on the way. We're talking low 90s by Tuesday, mid 90s as we head toward the middle and end of the week. And with that humidity back in the forecast, going to be feeling like the triple digits for several days next week.
Oh boy. Okay, thank you, Kaitlyn.
Gearing up, we're tracking some really hefty storms across parts of the area, especially in the parts of northern Virginia right now. So I will start off with where we have our only warning on the map. It's a flood warning right now back through parts of Frederick County until 5 o'clock. I do think that will expire in the next 28 minutes, but still possibly some small rivers and streams rising around the Beltway. We still have plenty of rain to slow things down on 495. We've got some heavy rain back into parts of Prince George's County, but it's really what's moving through northern Virginia that has our attention. You can see from Chantilly down into Manassas, really heavy rain, lots of thunder and lightning, and even farther off to the south as you get closer into Midland, Goldmain, really dense cluster of thunder and lightning. So keep in mind, these storms do not need to be severe in order to seek shelter. If you are out and about and you hear thunder, you see lightning, make sure you're getting into a safe space because there's plenty of lightning in some of these storms that we're tracking right now. Back into Berryville, Upperville, heavy rain stretching into parts of Loudoun County, also producing a pretty solid cluster of lightning there. And even farther off to the north from Charlestown into Shepherdstown over by Clear Spring and Hagerstown. This is showing signs of weakening a bit, but still producing, again, a lot of thunder and lightning in addition to that heavy rain. So we do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 10 o'clock. This is for pretty much the entire area, though our risk for severe weather isn't looking as impressive as the risk for flooding. Now, we're going to hope that these storms kind of keep drifting off to the east as they are, but it's only around 20-25 miles per hour. So that does elevate the concern for some flooding. There's a flash flood warning around Baltimore right now. The flood warning in effect for Frederick County. Elsewhere, that flood watch is in effect until 11 o'clock tonight. Does not include southern Maryland down into Culpeper and Fredericksburg, but everyone really at risk of seeing some isolated flooding here over the next several hours. So coming up, I'll take you hour by hour through Futurecast and when this batch of storm clears out, but also look ahead to a little bit more rain in the forecast for Friday into Saturday.
Kaitlyn, thank you.
The radar here because we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning to tell you about. This is in effect for Stafford County until 5 o'clock. Also includes parts of Culpeper and Fauquier County until 5 p.m. again. And this does now show some signs of weak rotation. So we're watching it very carefully. The National Weather Service is watching it very carefully to see if a tornado warning would need to be issued in addition to the severe thunderstorm warning. But you can really see where the strongest part of this storm is right now. That big dense cluster of thunderstorms thunder and lightning stretching from Cromwell down into Heflin over near Rosewood. And this is still moving to the east around 20 to 25 miles per hour. That's going to put it into Stafford, or really just to the north of Stafford by 5:24, into Quantico just after 5 o'clock, Doncaster right around 5:28, and into La Plata around 5:55 if it continues to hold together. So again, right now just a severe thunderstorm warning, but we'll watch for further development really carefully here over the next several minutes. You can see back into Dale City, parts of Fairfax County, really most of Fairfax County right now, seeing at a minimum some really heavy rain. That's where we just showed you that flooding along the Beltway near 29, a little crack of lightning up by Fairfax as well. We've got some heavier downpours back into far northern Virginia and parts of western Maryland from Purcellville down into Upperville and Aldie. Still watching this cluster that's kind of losing steam as it pushes off to the east, working its way out of Hagerstown down near Brunswick, and we do still have that flood warning in effect until 5 o'clock for Frederick County. So really between about, say, now and 7 o'clock is when we will see most of these storms roll through. This is Futurecast around 6 p.m. Still seeing hefty storms up and down the 95 corridor, capable of producing that heavy rain, vivid thunder and lightning, possibly some damaging wind as well. We've got the severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 10 o'clock, the flood watch in effect until 11 p.m. Now by 8 o'clock, we start to see a lot of the activity winding down. Still a few showers and thunderstorms along and east of 95. And then as you tune back in with Topper at 11 o'clock tonight, he'll have clearing skies, no issues as we head through the overnight or the start of your Friday forecast. But by the afternoon, could see a few more isolated showers and storms. This is 3 o'clock. Futurecast looking nothing like what we're dealing with right now, but just know that if you've got Friday night plans, you may have a shower, you may have an isolated storm, but by about 6 o'clock, most of that activity is already pushing off to the east, and we'll have clearing skies once again as we head into the overnight. Otherwise, your Friday forecast is going to be a hot and humid one. We'll have temperatures back in the upper 80s and low 90s, but lots of sticky humidity like we've been dealing with for the past several days, making it feel more like the mid to upper 90s. Now, as we head into the weekend, still a few chances for showers and storms, especially in the second half of Saturday, but then by Sunday, we'll clear skies out throughout the day. Humidity will drop off. Sunday's actually going to be a really nice, comfortable day to be outside, and I encourage you to enjoy it because by next week, we've got a warming trend on the way. Low 90s by Tuesday, mid to upper 90s by Wednesday into Thursday, and you add in humidity, going to feel closer to the triple digits. We're intrigued about down into parts of Stafford, Culpeper County. So coming up, Topper will have the latest on that, and I'll have more on flood threats.
Yeah, well, watch that storm. It's going to head into southern Maryland. You're not technically under a flood watch, but be careful. Heavy rain on the way.